guys, how's it going today? Trey Dixon. Just want to come to you with some ideas and tips on how to run an effective men's group. And so I'm going to make this a two-part series. And this first part is going to be 5 pointers on how to get a group started. So if this is your first time or you're looking on how to most effectively run a men's group, I want to give you some tips and ideas that we've seen work for, one, my own personal group that we've had for about 5-6 years now. Maybe even 7 years, and from several of the men's groups that we've seen that have been effective. So let me start with number one, first and foremost. Number one, pray. Pray, and I mean this, bathe this men's group in prayer. If God's putting it on your heart to kind of lead this group, man, you need to be a prayer warrior, praying for the group, praying for the men, and just asking God to give you wisdom and discernment on this. So first and foremost, don't ever take it for granted, pray. Number two, find your purpose. Find your purpose so that you can find the right men. And so what I mean by that, we have a number of different groups that meet here with True North. So my group, for instance, and I'm going to use it, calling it the Journey Group, that we've been meeting for quite some time. There's no specific purpose. It's just kind of guys that are here. And that's fine. You may not have a specific purpose for your group, but that's okay to know that. That is your purpose, is no purpose. And hear me what I'm saying. Some groups also have a very laser focus. Some groups are specifically alcohol recovery or alcohol addiction. Some focus purely on pornography. Guys have had pornography and pornography addictions. I actually have a group that I lead in addition to my Journey group that are all guys who are specifically trying to recover and rebuild their marriages after an affair. So if you have a group, and it may be, you may just want a group of men that are fathers. You may specifically say, man, I want a guys group where we can come together as fathers and help each other in the struggles and how to be better men and better fathers. Whatever your purpose is. And like I said, you may not have a purpose per se. There may not be a specific point for your group. That's okay. That is your purpose, is not having a purpose, just coming together for guys to be accountable and, holding each other accountable on iron sharpening iron. That's great. But really pray and ask that. What's my intent? What's the purpose of this group? So that then you can make sure and find the right men. Because what you don't want to do is in your mind have a purpose or an intent for the group, but then you go out and you get the wrong guys, or you begin to bring in the wrong guys. So make sure and know your why, know your purpose in this, and what the intent of the group is. Number 3, set the environment. If you're going to have a group that's going to be talking about some really hard things, and hopefully most of you are, a loud coffee house may or may not be the best place for you to meet. Preferably try to find a quiet, secluded area. Maybe it's your home, even if it's your backyard. Maybe it's in your barn. Scott Craig, who's here with True North, actually started an amazing group in his barn out in Piedmont. Don't overlook the simple things. Don't overlook the things in your backyard, figuratively and literally. Our groups meet here in the True North office, but there's a lot of you men that have conference rooms or have offices at your business that if you meet early enough for Saturdays or in the evening, you could have a place where there's some privacy and intimacy there for these meetings. So set the environment and make sure that it's a place where guys can be open and be honest and be transparent. Which leads me to number 4. First thing for you as a leader, go first. We don't expect you to have all the answers. You don't have to, definitely don't have to be a theologian. What we want you to do is we want you to go first. So after you pray, after you figure out the purpose for your group, after you make sure and get the right men and set the right environment, then we want you to go first. And so what I mean by that, whether you're going through, say a Band of Brothers study or an Authentic Manhood study or the Journey group study, or you're just getting together to share, you're getting together to, try to break an addiction or whatever that may be, we just ask that you go first. Be a leader who doesn't try to have all the answers. Be a leader who leads by going first. God really laid something on my heart in marriage that us as husbands, we're called to be the spiritual leader. But so often as men, we try to be a spiritual manager. And by that, what I mean is we say, I have authority. And think about this at your job. And you probably have had a boss sometime in your life that was like this. that says, I have authority, so I'm telling you what to do. That's a spiritual manager. Spiritual leader says, I have a calling, and so I'm showing you what to do. I'm going first. I'm leading. I'm setting the path. I'm blazing the trail, and I'm inviting you to follow. That's what being a leader is. And so that's all we ask of you in a men's group. You don't have to have all the answers. You definitely don't come in as a manager and telling everyone. Come in and be a leader. Just go first, which leads me to point number 5. Point number 5 is setting the environment and going first. What makes all those things so special is then when you go first and you lead with transparency, with honesty, and with integrity. So being open, honest, and transparent, of sharing first. But sharing first doesn't really mean anything if you're not open, honest, and transparent. So go first, but be as honest and open, as transparent as you can. Don't think that because you're the leader, you have to have everything together. It's frankly a lot of times in our brokenness and in our failures, we're able to reach other men, and then the hope of Christ and Christ alone can be the strength that those men need to help them through these hard times. So guys, hopefully this will help you just get an idea of how to kind of effectively run a men's group from scratch. So remember, first and foremost, pray. Okay, pray at the beginning of each one of your meetings. Pray at the end of each one of your meetings. Open them with prayer, end them with prayer. So in and out with prayer. But even before you get to the meeting, you need to be praying as the leader, praying for that group, praying for those men, praying that God will bring you the right men. Number 2, find your purpose. Is there a purpose? And if there's not, that's okay. That's your purpose. Okay, but find your purpose for the group if there is one. Number 3, set the environment. So make sure that you're in a good environment and you help set that environment. Number 4 is you go first as the leader. And then number 5, being open, honest, and transparent. So guys, I hope this helps. And if you want to go even deeper, if you've already got a group up and running, you're just looking for some ideas and suggestions of how to maybe better run and facilitate a group, please check out our second session. I'm going to make a follow-up to this, which this is session 1, and we'll have session number 2 on the top tips and tricks on how to run a group. So love you guys. Thank you so much for what all of you do and for leading men to walk, engage, live. God bless you.